The Payette Forest Coalition has a field tour scheduled for Tuesday, June 25th, and this video is a pre-tour of the tour. Just give you a little orientation of the project area and the sites that you'll be seeing. First of all, their watersheds that you see highlighted are 6-level watersheds within the project area. First of all, remember that we'll be meeting at 10 a.m. on the 25th at the Council Ranger Station. We are not meeting in McCall like we have done for the last several months, so just a good reminder there. The project area has these 4 watersheds. They are 6th-level watersheds. The total area of the project is about 50,000 acres, just shy of that, and within that, around 26,000 acres of Forest Service ownership are forested. This is the Granite Creek watershed at the very north end, Jungle Creek next to that, Mica Creek adjacent to it, and then at the southern end of the project is Little Fall Creek. And I believe the project boundary will actually cut off this western portion of Little Fall Creek because the ownership is dominated by private owners. The Vegetation Committee recommended the topics for the field tour. We will be having 4 stops, 2 in this portion of the project and the last 2 at the very northern end of the project area. Tour stop 1, you may remember in 2007 the Grays Creek fire burned about 25,000 acres, and I think roughly half of that was Forest Service ownership. That is the first stop on the field tour. We'll be discussing the burn severities that can be viewed from that tour stop, all 3 of them, low, moderate, and high. That will be compared to the historical fire regimes. How is that different to the historical regimes of mixed 1, mixed 2, and lethal? Other discussion topics for that stop are the changes in forest condition due to the fire and the burn severity, reforestation. Some portions have been replanted since the fire. We had a request to discuss soil conditions and rehabilitation of soils, and also the topic of weed management. So at the tour stop, the image is now oriented so that we're looking more in a northeast and easterly direction, and I want to point out area highlighted in yellow. This is an area between the road and this yellow line that the resulting fire had a high burn severity, and just fortunate coincidence we have old imagery within Google Earth to compare. This is 2009 post-fire, but keep your eye on this portion of the image, and we'll flip back to 2004, September of 2004. The contrast isn't quite the same, but I think you can see the vegetation that's in this portion of the polygon. And if we move back to 2009, if you look real closely, you can see a lot of snags standing up where there once was forested vegetation. So part of the topic is vegetative pattern and openings created due to the fire, and changes in vegetation, and possibly even changes in vegetation canopy density. Moving to tour stop 2, it's fairly close by to the first stop. This is a wet PVG 6 stand, and Jeff describes this as a grand fir huckleberry habitat type, and a classic example of encroachment by grand fir into a large tree-sized class ponderosa stand. So discussion points here will include forest succession, fuel ladders, and treatment considerations. This particular stand fit into a category of a potential restoration treatment. There's a second portion of the stop. This is also a riparian conservation area delineated by a standard distance from the stream. And the road actually runs through the RCA. And as you'll see at this tour stop, as you go upslope, there is upland vegetation that is a candidate for restoration treatment. We'll also have a guest speaker, Charlie Luce, that will talk about riparian management and some of his recent research. Driving from there to the northern end of the project area, we'll be driving past a blowdown area of about 500 acres, and I think lunch before the drive, we'll have the opportunity to listen to a discussion of considerations for lynx habitat in that blowdown area. But when we do get to stop 3, it's a PVG7 stand, described as a vigorous stand. The species composition is a Douglas fir overstory, and it has lodgepole and subalpine fir in the understory. The stand was marked, but it was marked for an earlier sale that was not awarded. So the marking guidelines that we discussed at the May PFC meeting would probably change how the stand would be marked for treatment. Then tour stop 4 is just up a ways, a little bit higher spot at an overlook to see a combination of acres of PVG7 mixed in with 6 and some PVG5. So we'll have a lot of Douglas fir and pine. There will be a chance to see quite a bit of spruce budworm mortality in the Douglas fir. And the topic here is the contrast in pattern with what can be seen from this overlook compared to the burn severity examples, low, moderate, and high, that were viewed at tour stop 1. And from this location, we'll drive back to Consul, and it'll be about an hour drive, and should get everybody back around 4 p.m. Look forward to seeing you on the 25th.